Hey guys, I just wanted to make a follow-up video to the video that I made yesterday. Um, one of the things that I was saying yesterday was that I was having issues with the AVEN Facebook group a while back, and I decided to leave it. And I listed out several reasons why I decided to leave it, and I actually remembered another reason why I decided to leave it. And this one was one of the major things that really bothered me about the group. Even more than the micro labels and even more than some of the other issues I brought up, it was the fact that, as an aromantic ace, I'm not interested in dating or romantic relationships or any of that stuff. And I'm actually not interested in actually having sex with people. So I would be an aromantic asexual, right? So a lot of these people in these AVEN groups and stuff have really been just awful. I mean, they would post these, there would be somebody who would post a meme, and it would be basically validating my experience where, we're repulsed by that kind of stuff. We don't want to have anything to do with it. It's gross, or we're not interested in it, and things like that. And to me, that's like the essence of the whole aromantic asexual thing. But they would always try to make it about themselves, these other people. Not the person who posted the meme, but the other people in the group. So maybe they were romantic aces, maybe they wanted relationships, or maybe they were the kind of asexuals who do have sex, but they're just not attracted to the other person. And they would jump on the memes and they would talk about how, oh, that doesn't apply to me. That doesn't apply to me. And they would make it all about themselves. They would always make it about the fact that, oh, well, this might apply to some people, but it doesn't apply to all of us. And there would even be people that would be angry and they would say, like, why are you posting this? This is inaccurate. And the truth is, it's not inaccurate. It does apply to a pretty large subset of us. And, it's upsetting to me that anytime there would be something that would be validating to me as an aro ace, that there would be a bunch of people that would jump all over whoever posted it and talk about how it doesn't apply to everybody in the group. So we could never just have our own thing. Just like I was complaining yesterday about how the gays and the lesbians and the trans people would always post about their issues, and they would not really focus on asexuality as a topic very much. Like the romantic asexuals and the asexuals who do have sex would always jump on people who would talk about being repulsed, or they would talk about not being interested in it. It's almost like you're not allowed to be aromantic in there, or you're not allowed to be an actual asexual in there. Now, using that terminology probably would make some people angry, because the thing is that to me, if you're ace, you're not interested in that stuff. But I understand that the definition that is generally accepted as a lack of attraction. So I understand if somebody says that they're not attracted, but they'll do it for, a partner or something like that. And I guess that could all fall under like the ace umbrella. So I understand that. I'm not saying it's wrong to call yourself asexual or whatever. Call yourself whatever you feel applies to you, okay? But when it comes down to it, the actual aro ace people who are just repulsed by all that, they don't want to have dating, they don't want to have sex, they don't want to have any of that stuff. In our own group, I felt like we're being pushed to the side. We're being, as the lefties like to call it, marginalized, within the asexual community. We're made to feel like, well, if we're not interested in that, then blah, blah, blah. And AVEN actually has a website too. And they have like an FAQ, and I guess it's for family members of people who have come out as ace. And one of the questions has something to do with, well, will they be able to have a family? And, like, I guess get married and have kids. And the response is like, oh, yes, they can do that. And technically, yes, technically there are asexuals who get married and have children and, all of that. But there's a whole bunch of us for whom that will never happen. And in a lot of cases, I feel like if we're not naturally infertile, that we're sort of made infertile by the fact that we just are so repulsed by the sexual act, and we're so not interested in romance, and we're not interested in getting married and settling down and having kids. So it's, some of us actually, will never do that. And I feel like by AVEN having that as their answer, as their standard pat answer, it's just basically creating false hope for a lot of people, like, I guess for the would-be grandparents or whatever. And I feel like as an aro ace, I wasn't given enough consideration that they're not really looking at us and saying, hey, you're an important part of this community. All I ever saw was somebody would post something that applies to us, not being interested, not wanting it, not wanting anything to do with it, and then a whole bunch of people who apparently absolutely love sex, but they still call themselves asexual for some reason, would jump all over it and say, well, that doesn't apply to me. That's not mine. That doesn't apply to my situation. Yeah, well, what about our situations? Even yesterday when I was saying some of these micro labels are silly and I don't understand them, I did say that it's okay for you to apply them to yourself, that it was just me that didn't really like all that stuff. But, it's like they would go onto these posts, and they would, like, if anybody says, well, as it's an important part of my experience that I'm not attracted to other people, that I'm not into all that stuff, that I'm not interested in sex and all that, and they would act like, well, that doesn't define asexuality, and they would get all pedantic and haughty and just really nasty about it. So that was another big reason why I didn't really want to be part of AVEN anymore. And I'm sorry that it ended up that way, because it really destroys any sense of fellowship, any sense of community. I've never really considered myself part of the larger, LGBT community, but I did want to be part of the ACE community specifically. And I felt like when I went in there that, this is the big group, this is where I'm going to be able to connect and meet other people that are similar to myself, that have the similar lack of attraction to other people and things like that. And it just ended up being just as sex focused as any other, group I've been in. And it was almost worse in a way, because it's like that's all anybody wanted to talk about. So I just thought I'd add that on, because I didn't add that to my last video, that it was another reason why I just had a bad time in that group and why I decided to leave. All right, bye-bye.